What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Draft Ranking Show. It's a beautiful Saturday morning here, and the defenders at the 2025 NFL Combine are done. The completed workouts are in the books. We got speedsters, we got some chubby dudes that are overweight that didn't quite come in and measure like we wanted. We got some DBs that have quickly vaulted, and we got, honestly, a couple edge rushers that kind of peeked their head through the shadows named Landon Jackson, who jumped over 40 inches and ran sub 4.7. I'm Cody Carpentier with the draft rankings and rosterwatch.com. You can check out everything over at rosterwatch.com, including dynasty rankings, rookie spotlights to boot. We're here talking about the 2025 NFL Combine because that's where I'm at with this green background and rainbow portrait. Some of the best workouts that we saw from the 2025 NFL Combine on the defensive side of the football. You cannot start the NFL Combine talk without Nick Emenwari, the cornerback slash safety from South Carolina. He played a lot of cornerback for South Carolina this year. He had a disgustingly alien-like pick six early this year against LSU, and they had it listed as a safety here at the Combine. Prolific. Over the last 20 years, they said on TV, only one other player weighed in over 220 pounds, was over 6'3", I think it was, or 6'2", ran under a 4.40, jumped 40 plus inches, and that was DK Metcalf, Ole Miss, and Nick Emenwari, the corner slash safety from South Carolina. Emenwari is going to be in the back end of the first round, point blank period. I had him in my last mock. He's going to be in there. You knew this athleticism was coming. He ran a 4.38, 43-inch vertical, 11'6" in the broad jump. It all makes sense. Another cornerback, Jahdae Barron. Before the Combine, a lot of conversation was Jahdae Barron, number nine on my big board, number 12 on my big board. That's what all the big names were saying. Well, it looks like that's not going to be one of those draft as a flat circle things that goes back around and he falls to the bottom half of the first round. Jahdae Barron screams to the top of the feed here with a 4.39 40. His measurables, not great, 5'10", 6'8", 194 pounds, 9.5-inch hands, sub 30-inch arms, sub 74-inch wingspan. Not great, but he runs that 4.39 with a 10-foot broad and a 35-inch vertical. Those are great numbers for Jahdae Barron. Someone that we kind of expected around that 4.48, 4.52 kind of area for the 40. He blazes, and he was upset with a 4.39. Jahdae Barron is a top 15 lock. Turn the key, throw it in the trash can. You know it. I think he's the top cornerback off the board after Travis Hunter, who, of course, is a dual offense and defense corner slash receiver. On the defensive line, it's hard for me not to talk about Landon Jackson, a guy that we've seen listed anywhere from 6'7" to 6'8" to from 260 to 300 pounds across depth charts and rosters and stuff over the last couple of years. He's listed 6'6" even, 264 pounds, 10-inch mitts, 33-inch arms, 84-inch wingspan nearly for Landon Jackson. And he does that, and you're like, okay, I expected that. He runs a 4.68 in the 40-yard dash, 10'9" broad jump, and a 40.5-inch vertical. Landon had a great junior season in 2023. 2024, the numbers weren't quite there at Arkansas. I don't expect him to get into the conversation of round one. I understand the depth of the defensive tackle and the edge group. It's deep, and Landon, I think, enters his name into that fold. I think when you're looking into that late second, early third round conversation, Landon Jackson deserves to be there. Somebody that deserves to be a much higher, that didn't test, but did come in and measure, was Jalen Walker, 6'1", even 243 pounds. I guess I just innately thought Jalen Walker was going to be closer to 6'3" than I guess 6'1", but he came in at 6'1", even 10 and a quarter inch hands, 32-inch arms, nearly an 80-inch wingspan for Jalen Walker. He was not the test freak. Again, he's a linebacker. He's listed as linebacker. I kind of view him more as an edge in this class, but I think he's going to be moved around. But the big, I guess, two big workouts that happened on Thursday night was Shamar Stewart and James Pierce. James Pierce, when we're looking at like vertical jump and broad jump and 40, James Pierce, we thought, peed the bed. He had like a 30. I should have it up right now, but I can't find it because it's so far down on the list. 31-inch vertical for James Pierce. And then he comes in and blazes a 40-yard dash in 4.48, 4.47. Blazes, which we heard was possible. He enters himself into that conversation of the top in the round one at least. I know his name has cooled off quite a bit where it once was a top 5 conversation. The last one I'll talk about here is Shamar Stewart. Shamar Stewart's the biggest winner. The biggest winner on the defensive side of the ball outside of Jahdae Barron from Texas and Nick Emenwari from South Carolina is 100% Shamar Stewart. He came in at 6'5", 267, which is about 13 pounds lighter than expectation. 34-inch arm, 84 and 3/4-inch wingspan, 40-inch vertical, 10'11" broad, 4.59 40-yard dash for Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M. Immediate comps come out to Myles Garrett, Trayvon Walker, and obviously those guys go top in their draft. I'm not going there with Shamar. If you saw my last mock draft up at rosterwatch.com, you saw I had him going to the Raiders in round 1 at number 6 overall. I think that's probably where the conversation settles in, is around that Raider area as the peak. I did that intentionally going in. I don't love Shamar Stewart. He's got 4.5 career sacks. I think one of the greatest thoughts, maybe in Roster Watch top 10 thoughts from the day history, was Alex. He said, is Shamar Stewart potentially the greatest edge rusher in history with less than 5 sacks in college? I think that that's right. I think that's correct. So I think Shamar Stewart's going to end up being in this conversation here at the top, but he tested out like a maniacal human being at the draft or at the NFL Combine. A couple other names of people that did good. Barron Sorrell from Texas. He came in at 6'3", 256. Had a good combine, 4.68, 10-foot broad, 34-inch vertical. He had a 4.36 shuttle, which is pretty strong. Not a lot of people do the shuttle anymore. Darius Alexander, the defensive tackle from Toledo, runs 4.95, so sub 5 seconds for him in the 40. Another one that I was impressed with was CJ West, defensive tackle from Indiana. I need to do some tape on him. He's 6'1", 316. He comes in with almost an 80-inch wingspan. He runs a 4.95 at 316 pounds. I thought he had a mighty good day. He actually ended up being the 7th highest athleticism score on Combine IQ from NFL.com. Shout out to Mike Band for that creation for the NFL Next Gen group. CJ West was up there in that conversation. So great combine, defensive winners. Jahdae Barron, Nick Emenwari from South Carolina, Barron Sorrell from Texas, Jalen Walker from Georgia. I thought was a kind of a middling. Again, he didn't do anything, but the buzz here has been ridiculous. Shamar Stewart, James Pierce are winners. Landon Jackson's a winner. And, I cannot forget about the man with the fastest 40, Maxwell Hairston, sub 4.3, Maxwell Hairston from Kentucky. People are claiming he locks himself into round 1 with the sub 4.3. We'll see. We'll be back on Sunday morning with a full recap of all of the offensive weaponry for the weekend. And then Monday, of course, we'll talk about the offensive line. But Sunday, tomorrow morning, we'll be talking about the quarterbacks, the receivers, the running backs, and, of course, the tight ends, who I'm actually currently watching. It's Friday night as I record this. The tight ends just ran the 40s, and not good for Gunnar Helm with a 4.93. So there's the draft rankings. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all, and we will see you tomorrow morning.